Inside, it looks fantastic, and the best thing about the inside is that I don't have to look at the outside. But who am I to say? I'm not the arbiter of taste. Good morning, here we are, gliding along. It's the Kia EV3, not small, it's mid-sized electric SUV. And this is an absolutely terrible road, and it's doing probably the best possible job in massaging out these horrible bumps and potholes. We're doing the speed limit. It's a bit soft, it's a bit slow to respond, but it certainly goes, stops and handles when you ask it to. It's not really my kind of car. Let's see if it's your kind of car. This car just won World Car of the Year 2025 and second place in European Car of the Year 2025. Who am I to question that? A combined total of 160 distinguished motoring journalist judges.
Kia EV3.
Look, I know it's a quality car that does a lot of things well, but that does puzzle me. It strikes me that 1, driver involvement, and 2, aesthetics didn't play a big part in the criteria, or a big enough part. I hear the term retro-futuristic being thrown around. Well, I don't see much retro, and if this is the future of car design, I'm sad. Can you imagine Pininfarina coming up with something like this? Now, a similar car from the same neck of the woods, the Hyundai Insta, just won 2025 World Electric Car of the Year.
The Hyundai Insta Casper Electric.
That one will be next week's review. And that one does have a chunk of 1990s Kei Jidosha retro look about it. So look, I've got 2 reviews for you. Competitors they may be in the same small electric SUV space, but they're quite different. Today it's the EV3, next week the Insta. Now, it's no secret I'm a fan of these modern Korean cars, and we've reviewed a few Kias on the channel. The EV6 GT was just fabulous. So much personality. I like Hyundai as well, ever since the first Kona EV that we reviewed. The Ioniq 5N was just epic, as were all the N-Division petrol cars as well. Now, these 2 brands share a lot of technology, materials, operation. If you've driven one, you'll be quite comfortable in the other. Perhaps they're on the expensive side, but maybe you get what you pay for, and they are the high watermark of good functional design in affordable cars. Some things I reckon they do better than any other brand, like the iPedal paddle shift to select how much regen you want. Just love it. But outright champion? It's good, but it's not that good. I must be missing something. Anyway, let's ride today in the Kia EV3, and this is the GT line, the top spec one with all the fruit. Today the question is, do you want this car or do you want the base model Air, which is $19,500 cheaper than this? That's almost 30% less. Do you really want the Harman Kardon stereo, the sunroof, the head-up display, and all that gloss black on the outside? Let's find out. We started with 546 kilometres indicated range, 100% battery. We're already down to 97%. The first thing I want to see today is whether the range as indicated is correct. So here we are, sunny winter's day, cruise control, lane keeping assist on. I'll let it do the driving for a little while. How close do we want to sit to the car in front? Not too close, we'll just leave it at setting 2. And already I feel like I'm in some kind of large boat and a small SUV EV. I wouldn't say it's small, you know. Look at the space in here. How can you say this is a small car? This is probably bigger than the original Commodore. No, this is not small. This is a medium-sized SUV. In terms of the interface and the usability of this, compared to my MG4 X-Power, this thing is not just one step up the ladder, it's a couple of steps. Once you got used to it, big fonts, really clean screens, works really well. And I do like the Kia products. They just ooze quality. You'd pay a certain amount for that quality, but can it stack up against the very, very good offerings from other manufacturers that are actually cheaper? In the past, some of the Kias we reviewed have been quite expensive for what they are. The Kia Niro we did only a couple of years ago, and I think it was like $70,000 something. That hasn't aged well, you know. There are so many good EVs you can buy in the $40,000 to $45,000 range. The entry level one of these is $48,990 on the road, so 49 grand. I do like all the cloth as well, by the way. This is the simulated leather, but I'm perfectly happy with the cloth trim, you know. So now, if you've been with me before along this section of road, this is the super noisy bit, and this is actually not as bad as some I've been in, but it still doesn't sound great, does it? This car, we're on 50 profile tyres. They're only 7.5 inches wide. They're only 215s, so there's not a lot of contact patch. You see how quiet that got all of a sudden? And noisy again, and quiet, and noisy. The standard car, the Air, the entry-level one, has only 17-inch wheels with 60 profile tyres. You so rarely see that these days, but I'm not averse to that in this style of vehicle. And okay, we've got a bit of buffeting from the truck just here, but whoa, feel that? No, not nice. Can you feel how floaty that is? If you like to be the SUV driver sitting up there looking down on everybody, this is not a small car. You are sitting high. It's soft. Not a terribly powerful SUV, but more than enough. We'll set cruise control at exactly 99 k's an hour, 100 k's an hour, because there are 2 speed cameras here, and it's just easing up here. It takes no throttle at all to do this kind of speed, so you can't complain about the power. Plenty of power, piece of cake. Look, on our channel we like to review sporty cars. Mark's M2 BMW, my old Cayman, Ferraris, lots of those. And we still love doing those cars, and we're going to keep doing those cars. But lately, I know people like to see reviews of the latest EVs as they come out, and we have to do this one. We've done quite a lot of the Kia and Hyundai products. Biggest criticism for some of them is that they haven't been great value for money. And here's my old mate in his Tesla again, just sitting there hogging the right lane. He made it hard for the truck on the left, because the truck on the left wanted to come out and I had nowhere to go. I would have moved over for him. That's the way it works. Rant over. Look, do like Hyundai, do like the Kia products. The EV3 I drove, 1600 k. It's a real proper road test, that one. And we tested out the charging infrastructure. So we'll do a couple of 100 k's in this, mixed conditions. And is this a driver's car? Is this a car that's going to keep you happy if you like going on a little blast on the weekend? And the answer straight away is no. I know, you don't buy a Kia EV3 if you're looking for a sports car. I know, but it's still got to be satisfying to drive. But honestly, it's soothing and relaxing in the same way that a tourist coach is, but that's what I'm in. I'm in a 4.310 metre long, 2-ton tourist coach. Let's put our lane keeping assist back on. Right, got the full thing happening now. Last time I came along here using this kind of function, the car would slow down. It'd get to a gentle bend like this, and it'd slow right down to 75 k's an hour, which wasn't good. This one is maintaining my speed at exactly 100, the speed limit. That's good. Here we go, hardly see the lane markings here, and whoa! And he couldn't see them either, but yeah, good job. And we're still doing 99 k's an hour. Not ideal conditions for doing that kind of thing, but that was actually really good. Here we are, blind brow, can't see over it. What's it going to do? Really good. But this one, nah, whoa, it just gave up then. Yeah, no, that was... it's as good a job as you could possibly hope. Here we go, round the bend. Nope, and it drove into the next lane, and when it did, it warned me. Only after it had done it. Okay. I seem to have spooked it now, it doesn't want to play. Here we go. Yes, good. And it drove straight into the second lane, as you can see there, so not so good. Probably got upset by all the shade from the trees on the road. If you're a sensible person, you would not be doing this. Chatting with your friends, making a cuppa, letting the car steer along roads like this. Not smart. Well, that certainly puts some excitement in the morning. Too much. This is great. Love having the air conditioning stuff here. Look, fan up, mode, temperature up, down, all there. If I don't like doing it that way, I can go home, little panel there. I can go here, but most of it you just do here. I've got it set on driver only mode. Save some energy, love that. Overtaking. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Plenty of mumbo. Bring the speed back down again. Plenty of power. That was in sport mode. So what are our modes? We've got eco, normal, sport, my mode, and snow. The ride, you feel very isolated from the world outside, but it does not encourage you to push on. Maybe that's a good thing. See, super smooth here, and then there was a bump. Harsh, very harsh. Spending a lot of my time just watching out for the massive potholes. There's no way I could be driving this on the self-driving type functions. I'd be a nervous wreck. So yeah, if you want to be isolated from the outside world, it's a good car. Big interior space, sitting high, low sills, good to see out of. But I think at $48,990, the entry-level Air is the one you might like. What are you going to lose out on? The head-up display? You don't really need that. I've got perfectly good speedo and stuff right here. The 8-speaker Harman Kardon stereo, you miss out on the sunroof, sure. I don't really need that. You lose out on the privacy glass in the rear. You lose out on the powered tailgate. This tray table pulls out like that, give you a little workplace. You can set up your laptop. Only on the GT line. Do you really want to spend another $19,500? Save the 20 grand. Now styling. Very subjective, I know. You know how at school they give you these geometry sets where you had a protractor and set squares and things like that? It's like they confiscated all that except for the right angle 45 degree one, because all I see when I look at this car is 45 degree and right angles, and I don't like it at all. You may, that's perfectly fine. Alright, let's talk efficiency. We've only been driving an hour. We're showing 18.1 kilowatt hours per 100k, which is not great. I mean, part of that was freeway, but I was travelling, massive pothole, under the speed limit or just on it. And here we're cruising at just 80 k's an hour, and we're still getting nowhere near the high 15s that they claimed. You can see we're using 93% of the energy is going to the motors, 4% to the aircon, 3% to the electronics. It's really interesting that 7% of the energy is just going to non-driving type things. I really would have thought it'd be like 98%. Look, I get it. If you're driving long distance to your country farm and you've got long roads like this, it could be a good car because it's going to massage and absorb a lot of those bumps on the way. With these high profile tyres, they're at far less risk of a puncture from a pothole or something. So yeah, entirely appropriate, particularly with decent range on the thing. I mean, we're still showing 450 k's range. The entry level Air though doesn't have the same big battery. It's only got a 54 kilowatt hour battery, so the range will be considerably less. The car's about 100 kilos lighter, but do you really need that range? You know, I've got an electric car that I drive every day, and I never even think about range because I just come home, plug it in my boring old 240 volt power point. It takes 10 seconds when I get home, plug it in, switch on the power point, done. Overnight it'll put a decent charge back into it, and I never even think about range unless I'm going on a long trip. Even a day like today, we could easily do 3 hours, 4 hours driving today without having to stop and charge. Slow bend. Here we go. Oh, it doesn't encourage this kind of thing. Yeah, lateral grip is actually good. You just don't want to. It stays flat, as you'd expect. It's an EV, isn't it? Tight series of corners. Yeah, the skinny little tyres still doing a good job. And in fact, it doesn't take long before you catch somebody. Yeah, it's actually much better than you think it is from having driven on the freeway. Lift off mid-corner and it just settles. The rear doesn't get unsettled. No, it's fine. It's a bit like the EV5 in that regard. You think it's not going to do this that well, but then it actually does. Ergonomics, seating position, fine. Got really good vision, pillars a long way away. It's not a sporty seat, there's not a lot of lateral support, but it's not uncomfortable, and particularly in this one with the cooling and the heating, you know, it's going to be absolutely fine. You know, when I think of good car design, innovative car design, I think of cars like the Kia EV3, which I think was particularly striking. But when I look at the EV3, or the EV5, or the EV9, very much from the same family, I'm just seeing a utilitarian box. It might do it for you. You might think it's beautiful. I don't think it's beautiful at all. Plenty of boot space though, as you can see. I don't know why you'd put this floor up high, but you can. Why not just put it down low and get the extra space? Still plenty of storage under there too. So a very utilitarian, good sized shape that. The entry level model doesn't have this electric gate, but you don't need it. Got a nice handle there, come on, it's not hard. Rear door handles, interesting. Front door handles, don't have a problem with that either. Seat goes back, memory seating, heating, cooling, and the layback massage function. But if you do that, old mate in the back seat's going to get his legs crushed. So no. Relaxation seats like that, only on the top spec GT line. GT line. Synthetic leather, quite nice. So rear seat room with my seat in its normal position. It's okay. The floor is quite high, batteries, but the seat's even higher. So you actually sit really high. We've got USBs, USB-C for your back seat, and your own air vents. A little bit short on the headroom. Luckily it's a big boxy shape, so quite a long flat seat though. It could be more inclined, I think, because I'm still not getting a lot of thigh support, even though it's quite a long squab. But overall, back seat not too bad. In this colour, I quite like the colour. Matcha green, sort of pepperminty, nice metallic. It's got some nice, in the sunlight, looks quite nice. The terracotta also looks quite nice. But I think the way they've designed it with all these 45-degree angles, 90s, 45s everywhere, if I was to choose one, I'd choose black. And I'm not a black car person. Black on black on black, just to hide all these angles a little bit. The black wheels on the GT line are better, I think, than the wheels on the Air and the Earth. They look like they were designed by a first-year student with no effort whatsoever. The other thing is so much piano black gloss on it. The GT line top spec one is the only one that gets this in gloss, but you can see how dirty that's got. I actually prefer the matte, which is on all the other models. Look, I know I've been harping on about the looks, but it's important. A car is a member of the family and you have to live with it and look at it until the lease runs out. So I just gave this snap I took to Google AI, and all I asked was, can you make this look a little more attractive but keep the Kia design philosophy and the dimensions? And it took precisely 12 seconds to do this. So much better. It's a baby EV6. Okay, how about a nicer green? Oh yes, but those wheels are too gangster. Oh, much better. Can you colour match them to the car? Ooh, too bright. Oh, that's perfect. Now, isn't that scary? Now it's a car I would actually consider. What do you think? Leave a comment, please. Has AI improved it? Thankfully, it drives better than it looks. Now, as you know, when we first start a car, we've got to do a few things. Good afternoon, driver one. Hello. Settings. Now it's available. Speed limit. Do not want speed limit warnings. Go back. Driver attention warnings. Do not want forward attention warning or inattentive warning. That's all I have to do. Everything else is fine. Menu. Apple CarPlay. Maps. Waze. Stop route. I'm just going to drive. Blinkers on the right, like an old-fashioned Australian car. Torque steer, full power. Front goes light, and you get a bit of torque steer. Yep, that's pretty normal. Now on a channel, you can't just sit in it and go around the block. We have to drive them for a couple of 100 Ks to really get a feel for a car. And I think I'm starting to get a feel for this one. It might be relatively small on the outside, but it feels like a big car. And I've always said the measure of a really good sports car, it's not a sports car, the measure of a good car, any car, is that the faster you drive it, the smaller it seems to feel on the road. It hunkers down and becomes small and precise. This thing never feels small. If you change direction suddenly, you feel that? How vigorous that was? It takes a while to respond, and then takes a really long time to settle again. So I'd suggest the springs are on the soft side on this car. Do you want to take it out on a Sunday morning for a bit of a spirited blast? No, you don't. Not that kind of car. Seat's as low as it'll go, but yeah, I'm falling out of the seat there as soon as you get some bends, because the seat's not terribly supportive. Very comfortable though. Aircon on. Whoop. Come in there a bit fast. Easy boy. Heating, no thank you. Cooling, nice. Just don't turn too fast, and it doesn't understeer. It just stays flat and goes round. Same here. Tight corner. Still under the speed limit, but too fast for the corner. Doesn't complain, just goes round the corner, despite the skinny little 215s. This is a bit like my experience with the EV5. I didn't like that when I first got in it. I thought it was too much like a big Prado. Just didn't feel sporty at all. But when you actually push it, it actually does a really good job. So go figure. It doesn't lurch front to back at all, but it lurches up and down, and it doesn't go up and then like that. It's like it's got self-leveling suspension, but I don't think it does. So that's quite odd. Right, this is a really nice section along here. We got a very short stint with a lot smoother roads, so we'll see how she goes. We're in sport mode. Here we go. Turn it in. A little too fast. Stays very neutral. Didn't understeer at all. Wow. Very good. Here's a very slow corner, 20 with a giveaway on it. No one coming. Turn it in. Feels very comfortable. Go slowly here because there's a truck, big coal truck. And then you want to blast up the hill, quite steep up here. Whoosh, off you go. You change your direction here and change your direction there. Behaviour in the twisties is much better than you'd think. Good job, Kia. Chassis engineering, as usual, very good. What's interesting, for such a premium model, they don't have a 360-degree view top-down camera. What you do get is a reversing camera that you can turn on at any time, and a couple of different views from the reversing, like that. But that looks good, because the rear view through the back window is quite restricted. No side cameras, no front camera, no top-down view. Interesting omission. Look, I'm starting to get it. Okay, it is very capable. A lot of people are going to love this car because you do sit high, and over this really wobbly road I'm on, you do get actually quite a good ride. Everything's insulated from the outside world. It's even hitting those cat eyes. You hear them like that. Don't feel them at all. We're just gliding over the top. So I can see the appeal. Yes, I would look at the Air. I think the Air's the go. Save almost $20,000. That $20,000 can put your eldest child through at least 3 weeks of private school, you know. Stereo. I'll even forego the cool seats that I'm enjoying so much right now. I'll have the cloth seats. I'll have the matte trim. All the drivetrain, all the safety stuff, all the primary safety, secondary safety is exactly the same. It's still $49,000 on the road for the entry-level car. Test drive it, and if you like it, if you can handle this sort of rubbery, disconnected kind of feel to the steering, then yeah, I doubt you'll be sorry. All right, so that's our trip done. We've done almost 200 Ks. We've averaged 17.0 kilowatt hours per 100 K, considering we're pushing this big brick into a wall of air at 110 Ks an hour a lot of the time, as we are now. Now, if you had the small battery in the standard range EV3 Air, this is the kind of range you can expect. If you've got the large battery in any of the other vehicles, the long range Air, the Earth or the GT line, you can expect to get this kind of range driving in these kind of conditions. As I say, around town you'll do better. So no, it's not 600k, but it's not bad. It seems to be a pretty efficient drivetrain, so well done, Kia.
Kia and Hyundai are trading on their reputation as long-established brands in Australia that are going to be here for the long run. So you won't see them engage in a price discounting war with other Chinese cars like the BYD Dolphin or the MG4, both reviewed on the channel, both very good cars in their own way, and both cheaper than this one. So it's going to be tough for Kia, with plenty of new brands bringing larger, well-featured and cheaper electric SUVs to Australia to tempt you. But it's a quality product, and I think everybody knows that now. So which model? Now, as I said, if you have the means to trickle charge the car at home overnight, and your driving is mostly urban commuting, I think the best value is the base model Air, with the small battery, and save yourself another $7,500, even with the hideous wheels.
There you go, that's the Kia EV3 GT line, but yeah, you don't need the GT line.
So thanks for watching. Next week I look forward to showing you another similar but quite different Korean car, the Hyundai Insta. So maybe you'd like to think about subscribing. Hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.